Hi everyone. Welcome back to Unheard Stories. This is the place for gripping tales of love, betrayal, and second chances. Let's kick things off. Where are you all watching from today? Drop your location in the comments below. I'd love to know where our amazing audience is watching from. Now, let me ask you something. What would you do if the person you trusted most betrayed you? Today's story is full of shocking twists and an ending you won't see coming. Stay tuned, this one's unforgettable. Meet Ryan, a man who once believed his life was perfect. A loving husband, a stable career, everything seemed to be in place. But beneath the surface, cracks were forming. Ryan's world was about to shatter, and he had no idea. What happens when love turns into betrayal? When trust is replaced with secrets? Ryan's story is one of heartbreak, deception, and a revenge. Ryan is a dedicated and hardworking individual, known for his calm demeanor and kind heart. He works as a software engineer, often juggling long hours to provide a comfortable life for his family. His day starts early with a strong cup of coffee and a brisk jog to clear his mind. Evenings, however, are reserved for his wife, Emma, a time he cherishes deeply. Romantic to the core, Ryan believes in building a relationship on trust, honesty, and love. He's the kind of partner who remembers every special date, surprises with thoughtful gestures, and always prioritizes his wife's happiness over everything else. But little does he know, the foundation of his perfect life is about to crumble. Emma is a strikingly charismatic woman with a vibrant social life. She works in marketing and thrives in her fast-paced, people-oriented role. Her charm makes her the life of every party, and she enjoys the attention her beauty and wit bring her. While Emma once shared a deep connection with Ryan, her desires have shifted. She craves excitement, adventure, and the thrill of the unknown, often at the cost of stability. Her increasing secrecy and late-night outings signal a growing distance in their relationship, leaving Ryan to wonder what lies behind her sparkling smile. Their contrasting priorities and hidden truths set the stage for a betrayal neither of them could foresee. Ryan and Emma's love story began on a crisp autumn evening. They met at a mutual friend's dinner party, where Emma's infectious laughter drew Ryan in immediately. What started as a casual conversation over shared jokes turned into hours of talking about their dreams and ambitions. Ryan was captivated by Emma's confidence, while Emma admired Ryan's grounded nature and quiet strength. Their connection deepened quickly. From long walks in the park to spontaneous road trips, their early days were filled with laughter and warmth. Ryan cherished how Emma brought joy and excitement into his life, while Emma appreciated how Ryan made her feel secure and valued. Their love felt effortless, and their wedding day was the culmination of what seemed like a fairy tale romance. For years, their happiness was unshaken, until subtle cracks began to appear. Ryan couldn't pinpoint when things began to change, but Emma's behavior became harder to ignore. She started spending more time on her appearance before going out, and her once open demeanor grew secretive. Her phone was always face down, and the casual laughter they once shared was replaced by curt answers and avoidance. One night, Emma told Ryan she was attending a colleague's birthday party. She meticulously applied her makeup and wore a dress Ryan hadn't seen her in for years. Her explanation seemed casual, but the way she avoided his gaze sent a chill down his spine. "Don't wait up," she said, her tone flat yet dismissive. Ryan's unease grew as the door closed behind her, leaving him alone with a gut feeling he couldn't shake. That night, Ryan sat in their dimly lit living room, replaying Emma's words over and over. His doubts reached a boiling point when his phone buzzed with a message from a friend. "Hey, I just saw Emma with some guy downtown. Everything okay?" Ryan's heart sank. Memories of their happiest days flooded his mind, now tainted by suspicion. He wrestled with his thoughts, wondering if his insecurities were clouding his judgment, or if his worst fears were becoming a reality. As the hours dragged on, Ryan stayed awake, consumed by questions. Who was the man? Why had Emma changed so much? Little did he know, the truth waiting to unfold would shatter everything he believed about their love. As Emma stood in front of the mirror, perfecting her makeup, Ryan decided he couldn't hold back any longer. The tension in their home had been suffocating, and tonight he needed answers. "Emma," he said cautiously, trying to keep his voice steady, "you've been going out a lot lately. What's going on?" Emma paused for a moment, her hand adjusting the strap of her dress, but she didn't turn to face him. "It's just a birthday party, Ryan," she replied, her tone dismissive. "Don't make this a big deal." Ryan's frustration boiled over. "A big deal?" he shot back, his voice rising. "You've been distant for weeks, keeping secrets, avoiding me. I can't just ignore it anymore. Who are you even going out with tonight?" Emma finally turned to him, her expression cold. "I'm not doing anything wrong," she snapped. "I just want to have fun with my friends. Why are you always questioning me? Can't I have my own life?" Her words felt like daggers. Ryan could see the walls she'd built between them, and he realized she wasn't going to let him in. The ultimatum and her shocking reaction. "If you walk out that door tonight," Ryan said, his voice trembling with a mix of anger and hurt, "don't bother coming back." For a moment, Emma froze, her hand hovering over the doorknob. Her eyes met his, a flicker of something, regret? Guilt? Crossing her face. But just as quickly it was gone. "You're being ridiculous," she whispered, shaking her head. "We'll talk later." With that, she opened the door and walked out, leaving Ryan alone in the deafening silence of their home. The sound of the door closing behind her wasn't just the end of a conversation. It felt like the end of their marriage. As Ryan sat in the quiet of their living room, his phone buzzed with a message. It was from a friend. "I just saw Emma with a guy downtown. Is everything okay?" His heart sank, confirming the fears that had been haunting him. He pictured Emma with another man, laughing and carefree, as if the life they had built together didn't matter. The realization hit him like a tidal wave. This wasn't paranoia or insecurity, this was betrayal. And as the night wore on, Ryan's love for Emma began to fade, replaced by a simmering resolve to take back control of his life. Ryan's phone buzzed on the coffee table, jolting him out of his anxious thoughts. He picked it up and read the message. "I just saw Emma with some guy downtown. Is everything okay?" The words were like a punch to the gut, leaving him breathless. Who was this man? Was Emma lying to him, or was there some innocent explanation? Deep down, Ryan already knew the answer, but his heart wasn't ready to accept it. Ryan's mind raced, filling in the blanks with painful images. He imagined Emma walking alongside the man, smiling the way she used to smile at him, their hands brushing together as if nothing else mattered. Each imagined scenario felt like a dagger to his chest. He wanted to text her, to call her, to demand answers, but fear held him back. What if her response confirmed his worst fears? The thought of hearing her lie was almost worse than the silence. As he sat in the darkened room, Ryan's mind wandered to the early days of their relationship. He remembered how Emma's laugh used to light up his world, the way they'd stay up talking for hours about everything and nothing. He recalled the day they moved into their house, unpacking boxes with excitement about the life they would build together. Now those memories felt like cruel reminders of what they had lost. The warmth and connection they once shared had been replaced by secrecy and suspicion, leaving Ryan to wonder where it all went wrong. That night Ryan couldn't sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw Emma with the man, her betrayal playing on a loop in his mind. The weight of her actions crushed him, leaving him tossing and turning in bed, his thoughts spiraling out of control. The anger began to bubble beneath his sadness. How could she do this to him? After everything they had shared, how could she throw it all away so easily? By the time the sun rose, Ryan was exhausted, both physically and emotionally. The anger had taken root, pushing aside the love he once felt for her. The woman he had trusted with his heart had shattered it, and there was no going back. The sun was barely up when Ryan heard the front door creak open. Emma walked in, her heels clicking softly against the floor. She was wearing the same dress from the night before, her makeup smudged just enough to betray the long hours she had spent away. "Good morning," she said casually as if nothing had happened, pouring herself a cup of coffee. Ryan sat silently at the kitchen table, his eyes fixed on her every move. His heart ached, not from love but from the cold realization of how far they had drifted apart. Her casual demeanor stung like salt in an open wound. Did she feel no remorse? No guilt? Look at her, he thought, his fists clenching under the table. She's acting like last night was normal, like I didn't warn her, like she hasn't destroyed everything we built together. The weight of betrayal was crushing him. This wasn't the Emma he fell in love with. The woman before him was a stranger who had taken the life they shared and set it ablaze. Ryan realized then that there was nothing left to salvage. Staying in this house, in this marriage, would only destroy what little of himself he had left. He couldn't let her indifference trap him any longer. Ryan stood, his chair scraping against the floor. Emma glanced at him, but he didn't speak. The silence between them was deafening, more powerful than any words he could muster. In that moment his decision solidified. He was done. As soon as Emma left for work, Ryan moved with quiet determination. He pulled out his suitcase, methodically packing his clothes and personal belongings. Each item he folded felt like a chapter of their life together closing forever. He avoided the photos on the walls, refusing to let their smiles haunt him. Those images, once symbols of happiness, now felt like cruel reminders of her betrayal. With every passing minute, the sadness in his heart gave way to something stronger: resolve. He wasn't running away, he was reclaiming his life. Before leaving, Ryan sat at the dining table, pen in hand. He hesitated for a moment, then began to write. "Emma, I'm leaving. I can't live in the shadow of lies and betrayal. You chose a path that left no room for us. I loved you deeply, but I can't stay where I'm not respected or valued. This marriage is over. Goodbye." He placed the note on the table, the weight of his words lingering in the air. Ryan wheeled his suitcase to the car, taking one last look at the house. It wasn't a home anymore, it was just a shell of what they once had. As he drove away, he felt an ache in his chest, but alongside it was a newfound sense of freedom. For the first time in years, Ryan was choosing himself. Emma's betrayal may have broken his heart, but it would not break his spirit. This was the start of something new, and Ryan was ready to rebuild his life on his own terms. Ryan left behind the city that held so many memories of love and betrayal, seeking solace in a new place where no one knew his story. He found himself in a quiet coastal town, renting a small but cozy apartment overlooking the ocean. The sound of waves crashing against the shore became a constant reminder that life, like the tides, could renew itself. At first, the silence was overwhelming. The emptiness of starting over, far from familiar faces, weighed heavily on him. Nights were the hardest. The memories of Emma's betrayal would creep in, pulling him into a spiral of anger and sadness. But each day Ryan found small ways to rebuild. He threw himself into his new job at a tech startup, finding purpose in the challenges it brought. On weekends he explored the town, discovering hidden trails and quiet cafes. Slowly the wounds began to heal. He wasn't just surviving, he was rediscovering himself. One sunny afternoon, while browsing through a local bookstore, Ryan met Lily. She was radiant, with a kind smile and a gentle curiosity about the world. Their conversation began over a shared interest in a mystery novel and quickly turned into coffee at the shop next door. At first, Ryan was hesitant. Trusting someone again felt like walking a tightrope over an endless abyss. But Lily's patience and sincerity eased his fears. She wasn't just kind, she was genuine, and she understood the importance of building something real. Their friendship blossomed naturally. They bonded over long walks by the ocean, late-night talks, and shared laughter. Lily didn't try to fix him. She simply supported him as he rebuilt his life. Over time, Ryan found himself opening up in ways he hadn't thought possible. The scars of his past didn't fade entirely, but they no longer defined him. With Lily, he learned that trust could be earned slowly, and love could be simple yet profound. A year later, Ryan proposed to Lily during a quiet evening on the beach. The setting sun painted the sky in warm hues, symbolizing the dawn of a new chapter in his life. As she said yes, Ryan realized that the pain of his past had led him to this moment. A moment filled with hope, love, and the promise of a future built on honesty and respect. This time he wasn't starting over alone. Together they were building something strong, something unshakable. After Ryan's departure, Emma's world began to unravel. At first, she convinced herself she'd made the right choice, brushing off his absence as temporary. But as days turned into weeks, the silence in their home became unbearable. She found herself staring at the empty space where his suitcase used to sit, a constant reminder of what she had lost. Her once busy social life began to feel hollow. The parties and fleeting encounters that had once thrilled her now left her feeling lonelier than ever. Friends grew distant, sensing her unhappiness, and Emma found herself increasingly isolated. Her nights became a blur of scrolling through social media and nursing glasses of wine. One evening she stumbled upon an old photo of her and Ryan, laughing together on a vacation. Without thinking, she posted it with a simple caption: "I realized the value of what I lost too late." The post garnered sympathy from acquaintances and cryptic comments from friends, but no amount of external validation could fill the void Ryan had left. Alone in the quiet of her apartment, Emma was forced to confront her choices. She replayed every argument, every dismissive glance, and every lie she had told herself to justify her actions. The thrill of the moment, the attention from others, it all seemed so insignificant now compared to the love and stability she had thrown away. For the first time, Emma allowed herself to acknowledge the pain she had caused. She realized that Ryan had given her everything: trust, love, and loyalty, and she had taken it all for granted. Her regret was profound, but so was her understanding that some losses are irreversible. She knew Ryan would never come back, and she had to live with the consequences of her choices. In the end, Emma's story became a cautionary tale, A reminder that betrayal doesn't just break hearts. It shatters lives, leaving behind scars that may never heal. While Ryan moved forward, building a life filled with hope and trust, Emma remained trapped in the shadow of her own mistakes, haunted by the life she let slip away. Ryan's journey from heartbreak to healing was anything but easy, but it taught him lessons that would shape the rest of his life. He learned the value of self-respect, the importance of setting boundaries, and the power of letting go. His new life with Lily was a testament to his resilience. Together they built a relationship grounded in trust, honesty, and mutual support. Ryan no longer looked back with anger or sadness. Instead, he saw his past as a stepping stone, a painful but necessary chapter that led him to true happiness. Ryan's story reminds us that betrayal doesn't have to define our future. Even after the deepest pain, it's possible to rebuild, to trust again, and to find a love that respects and uplifts us. For Ryan, the greatest victory wasn't just moving on, it was rediscovering his worth and creating a life that reflected it. While the scars of the past remained, they were no longer a source of pain but a symbol of his strength and perseverance. Sometimes, letting go of what hurts us is the only way to make room for what truly fulfills us. And for Ryan, that was the ultimate triumph. Betrayal cuts deep, but it also teaches powerful lessons. Ryan's story reminds us that trust, once broken, is hard to rebuild, and the consequences of our actions can ripple far beyond the moment. It also highlights the importance of self-worth, knowing when to walk away from what no longer serves you and choosing to rebuild with hope and dignity. What about you? What lessons do you take from this story? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Unheard Stories, and hit the notification bell for more gripping tales of love, betrayal, and resilience. Stay tuned because the next story might just change how you see the world. Until next time.